So welcome back to BCFC Royal Blue. The championship season is getting ever closer in terms of the start, and clubs, as we have seen all through social media and through the news, have brought in new players, and there's lots of business already been done. We know the transfer window is open till the end of August, so there's still plenty to do in the transfer market for all championship teams. But in this podcast, myself and Matt would have a look at the business that's been done so far by every single championship team. Now, as we know, there are 24 championship teams, including our own Birmingham City. So what we've decided to do is split this into two podcasts. So in the first podcast, in this podcast, we're going to look at the teams alphabetically from B to N. So we'll start off alphabetically first with our own team, Birmingham City, and go through to Norwich. And in the second podcast, which will be published after this one, we will do the rest of the championship teams from Oxford United through to Wrexham. So, Matt, we'll start off with our own team. It just seems strange, that alphabetically, that all the teams is us first. Isn't it? So we'll talk about our transfer business so far. And all I'm going to do for each team is literally name the players that have been bought
I think it's worth saying that this has to be whistle-stop tour in nature. Otherwise, we're talking like an hour and a half's worth of video content, aren't we?
Yeah,
so
and just give a general opinion. That's
exactly.
it. Then we'll move on to the next team. Okay, so Birmingham City. These are the new signings at the time of recording. I'm sure that viewers of the channel will be sick of me saying at the time of the recording, but things move so fast in football. We have to caveat with that. So these are the players that have been bought in either from permanent signings or loans made permanent. So Kyogo Furuhashi, Taylor Gardner-Hickman, Kanya Fujimoto, Damari Gray, Bright Osei Samuel, Phil Neumann, Alphonse Samsted, James Beadle and Tommy Doyle. And also Erin Cashin as well.
I mean, if people really want to hear our in-depth analysis, Dad, we've got videos for every single transfer. So there's no point in spending loads of time here. I think we've had a fantastic window. In fact, I guess a little bit of a spoiler, I think we've had the best window in the Championship so far. If you look at the quality that we've signed, it's absolutely unbelievable. And good business. We've only spent money, like decent money on Kyogo, really. The rest of them have either been frees or loans. So yeah, I think we've done really well, and I'm really looking forward to this season, Dad. But you can't deny it, Birmingham City, fantastic transfer window.
It's brilliant, isn't it? The average age of the players we bought in is 25.8, so basically 26, which is a great average age, isn't it, as well? Yeah. We have had a lot of players go out. I'm not going to name them all, but there's 12 players already gone out the door. So we've actually released, which you might seem strange. I don't want to list them all because this includes end of loans and all that type of thing that were with us last season but no longer with us, including Alfie May, as we know, has recently gone. So the business so far, I agree with you, has been absolutely fantastic, but I think there's more to come from Birmingham City.
Agreed.
And there's lots of other positions that we will need to look at, but also there'll be departures. So we don't want to dwell too much on Birmingham City because, as we've said, it's a Birmingham City channel and we've already gone through that as well. So the next team alphabetically is Blackburn Rovers, our first away game, actually, isn't it? After we've played Ipswich, we have. Yes, looking forward to that. So they brought in central midfielder Sidney Tavares, Dion Deneve, a left midfielder, Sean McLaughlin, a centre back, and Ryan Albiossi, another right back. So that's so far there's 4 additions to the Blackburn team.
What I like about Blackburn, Dad, they've got a good variety there. They've got a left-sided centre-back, they've got a right back, they've got a right winger, they've got a box-to-box midfielder, and they've got a powerful striker in there as well. So it looks like they've filled a few gaps, and it looks like they've got a good spread of talent. I think Blackburn they're a pretty solid championship side, aren't they? But I mean, they've been flirting with the playoffs for some years.
Well, they were actually. They did. They John Eustace was in charge, and they flirted with the playoffs. Then they went off, and then they came right back at the end of the season. They only just missed out in the playoffs, to be honest.
Yeah.
But they've lost Tyrese Dolan as well. I noticed the other day that he'd signed for Espanyol. I think his contract. He's obviously a quite fast-pacey right winger. Danny Bath, a bit of experience. Andrus Wyman. So they've lost a bit of experience, but clearly brought in some younger players. Their average age of their incoming players is just 24 and a half, so
not bad again, is it? Yeah, good.
Not too bad as well. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. Next, Matt, a team that made the playoffs last season, that's Bristol City. They've made a few signings as well. They brought in goalkeeper Joe Lumley from Southampton, Emil Rees, centre forward from Preston, Yu Hirawaka, which is a right winger. Now I believe that was a loan that they made permanently, and Adam Randall, defensive midfielder. Obviously, we had Taylor Gardner-Hickman off them, who was on loan to us last season. So what's your thoughts on Bristol City?
Well, it's worth noting, Dad, transfers apart, they've lost Liam Manning, haven't they? He's now gone to Norwich.
Yeah.
And I think he played a big part in their playoff push last season. I think it's always worth noting that as a big part, because obviously we kind of give mini predictions here in terms of what kind of season they might have. But I think what's going to go well in Bristol City's favour is they haven't lost many players, and they do have a really good spine to their team, really good experience. And I have no doubt Ashton Gate's going to be a difficult place to go this year. And that is one of my favourite away days in the Championship. I love going to Ashton Gate. It's a great away day. But no, I see another decent season ahead for Bristol City. I think, as I said, Ashton Gate will be a difficult place to go. Will they make the playoffs this season? I think it's going to hang in the balance of how this newer manager adapts, doesn't it, really? But no doubt they will be a dangerous side again this season for me.
Yeah, like Bristol City, as you mentioned, it's one of our favourite away days. I love the whole Ashton Gate experience. It's absolutely fantastic. The away end's always very good and buzzing, isn't it? So
it's old school, but it's great old school, isn't it?
Yeah. It's a proper, for me, it's a proper ground. It feels like a proper traditional football ground. But they've obviously lost Taylor Garden-Hickman. They also lost Naki Wells as well, the really experienced centre forward. But he's 35, but he went to Luton. I think for me, I think it's going to be hard for them to replicate what they did last season with the strength of the Championship this season. But you never know. They always try to play decent football, but we don't know what this new manager is going to do.
Exactly.
So we'll have to see. Now, a club, Matt, that's next, that's been bringing quite a few players, is Charlton Athletic, who came up from the League One with us.
Not from last season,
anyway. So who have they brought in? Well, as of today, I noticed this morning that they confirmed Charlie Kalman.
Yeah.
In there.
What do you think about that, Dad? Because obviously they come up from League One. He got a lot of goals in League One. Do you think he can make the jump up to the Championship?
Well, this is always the question, isn't it? And it is a completely different league. He's capable, obviously, but I mean, why not? He's got 27 goals in League One last season.
21, I think. 2021, yeah.
Won the Golden Boot. And so they've obviously brought him in for goals.
Yeah.
He'll be alongside who's that player that was up front? He used to play for Coventry.
Matty Godden.
Matty Godden, yeah, he's the one that scored against us, didn't he? When they beat us at the Valley.
He's a dangerous player.
So they're gonna be fairly. I think they're having a good shot at trying to stay in the Championship.
They came out, and do you remember last season? They came out of nowhere. They were kind of hovering about 8th or 9th for quite some time. Then suddenly one week I looked, and they were like 3rd or 4th. They really went on a tear, didn't they?
Yeah, they did well, didn't they? Obviously they've got Nathan Jones in charge, who knows the Championship. So they brought in Matt Rob Apter from Blackpool, the right winger, Tanto Alaofe from Stockport. Remember him from last season. Thomas Kaminski, goalkeeper from Luton. Joe Randall Costello, right back from Blackburn. Amari Bell, left back from Luton. Sonny Carey, centre back from Blackpool. Reece Burke, centre back from Luton, and Mika Embik, centre forward. Well, he comes from the Charlton under-18s. Actually, he's already there. And then obviously Charlie Kalman as well. So they've obviously gone big, I think, in terms of trying to make a bit of a fist of it.
It's not just off the transfers in alone. I actually don't think Charlton will get relegated. We did we said at the start of the video that we did like a month or so ago, please take this with a pinch of salt because the transfer market had barely opened, no teams had done business, and I actually tipped Charlton as one of my 3 to go down. I've actually changed that now. I think they'll survive. I think they'll stay in the Championship. I mean, for all his pantomime villain, and people really love to hate this guy, Nathan Jones is a decent manager. He sets his teams up well. They're very stubborn teams, aren't they, Nathan Jones teams? They're difficult to break down and play against. He makes it as difficult as he possibly can. We saw it at the Valley, bringing out all the dark arts. It's not negative necessarily, it's just the way he plays football. They will be difficult to play this season. They've had a well-balanced transfer market, and I don't think they will go down. I think they will survive.
I agree with you. I don't think they'll go down as well. I don't think they'll be challenging for the top end of the table, but I think they're.
I'm talking 18th, maybe.
Yeah, maybe slightly higher.
18th,
he's brought in. Obviously, he's gone. Nathan Jones has gone back to what he knows. I mean, there's 3 ex-Luton players in there. But also, one thing that surprised me, I'm going to be honest though, about Charlton is they sold Thierry Small.
Yeah,
he went to Preston.
Good player,
he's a good player. Now, when I say that surprised me. It could be that he might have wanted to be transferred. So you don't know whether the club wanted to get rid of him, which I doubt, because he looked good to me. Particularly in the playoff semi-final.
This isn't disrespectful, but Preston have had a pretty poor seasons the past couple of years, haven't they?
Well, we'll get to them in the next podcast.
Course,
and again, they've surprised me in the transfer window. Let's wait for that to get there. But you are right; they have been pretty underwhelming. And last season they didn't have a great season. No. Okay, next, Matt, a team that's been really quiet in the transfer market so far is Coventry City.
But The reason why they've been quiet, in my opinion, is because they already have a very decent squad, don't they? So they made the playoffs last season. I think you tipped them, again, in that video, Dad, that we told people to take with a pinch of salt. You said Coventry might be challenging for the automatics if they can start firing before Christmas, because we all know the Coventry curses. They don't start winning until New Year, do they? And then they go on a mad tear.
Terrible start to the
they
season.
always go on a terrible start, and then from January to May, they're unbeatable. Really weird Coventry trait, but they made the playoffs last season, Dad. They're on an upward trajectory. They've got a good team. I think Lampard's a decent manager. I certainly don't throw him into that Rooney, Steven Gerrard category of managers. I think he's actually pretty decent, and I have no doubt Coventry will be playoffs minimum this season.
And you are right. I mean, why would you need to bring in loads of players if you've already got a strong squad?
Exactly.
And they have, haven't they? I think they're going to be a force in the Championship again next season.
Did you still stand by possibly automatics if they can get some things right?
I think based upon the transfer business that other teams have done, I think they might need to for me to be convinced to do that, I think they need to bring one or two more in.
Fair enough.
But definitely playoffs. Definitely playoffs. And they've only bought in 2 players so far. They bought in Kane Kessler-Hayden from Aston Villa, allegedly paid
right back, is he? 5 million or something?
4 million I've got.
Right.
Yeah, right. But he's a right back.
Yeah.
And they bought in a left back from Spain, from Granada, Miguel Angel Bray, or Brau, Brau, whatever, and however that's pronounced. So they've only bought in 2. They've sold a few players. Fabio Tavares, Jamie Patterson. There's not been a huge amount of movement compared to other teams in Coventry. So I think that obviously, don't forget they've got the Salon money now from Victor Gyökeres, who's been confirmed at Arsenal, which I believe is going to be around about 6 million. Is it?
6 million?
6 million.
I was going to say. I thought he went for way more than that. No, you mean the add-ons to Coventry, right?
I think 61 million it was with add-ons that he went through Arsenal. But,
I thought it was 90 plus million.
No, 60 odd. But they have got a sell-on of, I believe, about 6 million coming their way. So that could make a difference. So I think expect to see a little bit of business from Coventry.
But Daddy, if you look at Coventry's midfield alone, they've got Matt Grimes and Ben Sheaf in the centre mid. They've got the guy from Huddersfield in the 10, Rodoni. Sakamoto on the right, and the American.
No, they're a good team.
And the American bloke had you right on the left.
Yeah.
It's a good team.
Yeah, they're good side. So they'll do well, I believe. But I think there's still more business to be done at Coventry in the transfer window. Yeah. Next, we've got Derby County. Obviously, John Eustace, he came in late in the season. He kept them up. So let me just go through. They've done, a bit of business. I think surprised a lot of people. Apparently, they paid $6.5 million for Patrick Agimang, centre forward from Charlotte FC in America. That's a big amount of money for a team.
On that one, Dad, I saw P. Aguiman, and I thought it was for a second Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I was thinking, heck, they've got Aubameyang from the.
No, apparently he's gone to Marseille. He's about 50 now.
He's been around a decent amount of time.
Yeah, but this is Patrick Agimang, and they paid centre forward. So clearly, that's a big investment for Derby. They've also bought Andreas Weimann in from Blackburn, Richard O'Donnell, a goalkeeper from Blackpool, Danny Bath, centre back from Blackburn, and also Carlton Morris, centre forward from Luton. The only thing I would say about those 5 players, the average age is 31.
Right.
So that's quite high. But you've mentioned in previous podcasts, if they're good enough, doesn't really matter. Exactly. But I think there's some good business there for Derby. I think that they would want to try and stabilise themselves in the Championship and not have a season where they are looking at
a consolidation season.
Yeah, and I think that I think that's good business that they've done there. I think there's I don't think it's the unknown for me is Agimang. We've got no idea how he
big money as well. That is.
Yeah, that's that.
By the way, I know as Birmingham City supporters, we have to. Derby fans are probably watching, going, "What on earth are you talking about? Big money." That is genuinely a decent transfer fee, isn't it?
You say that, but we've paid one fee so far.
Yes, yeah, I said that.
Birmingham
City,
isn't it? Yeah, and I believe it was something like 8 or 9 million that's been muted for
with add-ons climbing to 10 apparently, but still good business.
But so basically, they spent almost as much as we have.
Yeah.
But anyway, I believe that's good business, and they clearly have got an intent to try and stabilise. So okay, next.
But just on Derby, Dad, obviously they have John Eustace in charge, and he's the kind of manager, isn't he, where you're not going to get fireworks, but you are going to get stability. And Derby will, again, in the same category as Charlton, Dad. A lot of people have tipped Derby to do poor this season. I think they'll be fine. And again, a lot of that comes down to Eustace being at the wheel, steady and safe pair of hands. But I think Derby will be okay this season.
I think I've seen some social media posts from some Derby County supporters saying that, well, he got a really average Birmingham City team into the playoff position, and he did the same with Blackburn. They think he'll do the same with Derby. I don't know. I mean, I think there's I don't think they'll be struggling in the bottom 3. No. but I'm not sure at the moment that they're good enough to be there at the end of the season.
But what Eustace did last season was a miracle. He's got a knack of it, hasn't he? I do like Eustace. I know we are a little bit biased in that we do like Eustace as a fan base for what he did for our club, especially during that sort of transitionary period. But yeah, he's a good manager. I wouldn't. It's one of those things. I don't think that will happen, in my opinion. I can't see Derby pushing for the playoffs. But if they did, it wouldn't surprise me in some regards because it's what he does.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, Matt. We'll move on next to Hull City, a team you would say one of the in trouble. Yeah. I mean, they obviously hit with transfer embargo because allegedly they hadn't paid the loan fee for Louis Barry, I believe.
Is that how it came about? Was it?
I believe so. I believe that's at the central part of it, but I think there may be other issues there. I don't know. I don't know the detail, but effectively they've got a 3 transfer window transfer ban now. They were looking to bring in a few players. They were very close to signing Louis Barry, I think, before all this kicked off.
Sheffield United.
They was also interested in who's that guy that was at Sheffield United and one of the strikers. Oh, I can't remember his name now. There was another.
Moore?
No, it wasn't Kiefer Moore. There was another deal, and Swansea as well. He ex-Swansea, ex-Sheffield United player, but he was Ollie McBurney. Right. They were muted to be very interested and close to signing him as well, and then obviously all this happened. But they have done a bit of business before this kicked off. They brought in a central midfielder, Gustavo Puerta from Bayer Leverkusen.
Decent money, wasn't it?
$3.5 million. Rida Laloui, centre midfielder from Rabat, that's the Moroccan team. Dylan Phillips, goalkeeper from Rotherham, that was on a free, and Semi Agier, centre back from West Brom. So, but with Hull, clearly what they can do now because of the transfer, but unless they get it lifted, unless there's some way that they can get these embargoes lifted.
They won't.
The
EFL are really stubborn when they put stuff in place. They're not going to get them lifted. But what I'd say that as well, I don't know whether you knew this, they've got a limit on what they can offer players as well. The most Hull can offer until that window comes in is $7,000 a week, which again isn't going to offer you much pull, is it, for big players?
$7,000 a week.
$7,000 a week.
Hull City, I'm available for $7,000 a week.
No, but by the way, I don't say that to be sniffed at. We all know $7,000 a week is a lot of money. But in the football world, it's not, is it? If you want to pull big players, you want to up that to at least 10-20 grand a week to get the players that get you out of the Championship into the Premier League. So $7,000 a week. Just talking objectively here in the Championship, that's not that high a salary.
No, they're going to have to make do, I believe, with a lot of the players that are already there. They're not going to be able to do too much transfer business with those embargoes. Although we've been in that position, and you work in the free market, don't you? Which is not the where you want to be, but you can pick up some decent players if you look around. So
Premier League the youngsters as well can often provide some quality.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move on, Matt, to Ipswich Town next, and this is again another club that are interesting because they come down from the Premier League. They've brought in a central midfielder for £11.5 million. So this is the obviously parachute payment benefit.
They did sell Liam Delap though for 30. But...
Yeah, we'll come on to that in a sec. Yeah, Azor Matuzwe is central midfield. They brought him from Stade Rennes. Ashley Young, this surprised me. 40-year-old right back from Everton on a free transfer.
He's not a right back.
Well, he's classified here as a right back. I think he's more of a winger.
He's a winger?
No, but I think he was playing at right back at Everton because I think he's lost his pace, hasn't he?
Right, okay.
Which, I presume you could stick him on the wing, but...
I've never known Ashley Young as a right back.
Well, again, this is transfer market stats I'm looking at.
Enough.
He's classified as a right back, and maybe that's where he played at Everton. I agree with you. In most of his career, he's played as a winger. But he's 40 years old, and they've signed...
That is an odd signing, isn't it?
I find that very strange, yeah. David Button, goalkeeper, 36 years old. They brought him in on a free transfer from Reading. And Cedric Kipre, a centre-back from Reims, not Rennes, in France as well. That's on a loan. So they've got 14-4, including Ashley Young at the moment. But obviously, clearly, you mentioned the Liam Delap sale. That brought in $35.5 million, apparently.
Have a guess who too? Chelsea.
They've lost Marcus Harness. Cameron Burgess was an interesting one. He's a centre-back, 29-year-old, which, he went to Swansea. I thought they might keep him. Axel Twanzebe as well. He went to Burnley on a free transfer. They've lost a few players as well.
Also, don't forget the biggie, Sam Morsey.
Yeah.
So again, he was their captain.
I think it's inevitable. Do you think it's inevitable? Because it's happened to us when you get relegated. There is generally a big turnaround of players.
Yeah, of course there
And I
is.
think that's the same with Ipswich. But
Well,
they've let go more than they've brought in.
it's a double effect, isn't it? Because one, the players are used to getting high salaries, so they want to get back into the Premier League. So you lose a lot of players like your Delaps and stuff from the salary expectation. But two, also your revenue is going to be lower because you're in the Championship.
Yeah.
So you have to save costs somewhere.
Yeah.
So getting
I
players.
mean, let's be honest, Matt. With these ins and outs that we've spoken about, Ipswich have got a fantastic squad.
Oh, they'll be fine.
They'll be fine. They've got an absolutely fantastic, and I think that with the money that they've got, they will be looking to bring in. I know there's a lot of speculation at the moment about Amari Hutchinson going to Brentford, but that's only at the moment.
He's a good player.
Yeah, but that's only speculation at the moment. So if they lose him, that could be a bit of a loss for them.
Also, that outside of the parachute payments, they've already cleared 20 million profit from selling Delap and bringing in the players they have, give or take 20 million profit this window alone. So they've got a lot of money to spend up until the last week in August.
Yeah, but let's be honest, Ipswich are going to do well this season.
Of course they will.
Regardless, aren't they, as well? Now, this shouldn't take long. Next team, Leicester City. No new rivals at the moment. Again, what I found strange about Leicester is they clearly knew that Ruud van Nistelrooy wasn't going to last there, but I believe they couldn't sack him until the end of June because it would have appeared on that year's accounts, and they had to wait until that had passed so they could sack him in the next account period, if you know what I mean. And that meant that the appointment of their new manager, Martin Cifuentes, took ages.
Right.
And, he was already partly into pre-season when he was appointed. So they bought nobody at the moment. That will change. I believe that again, I say that I did this research a couple of days ago. I mean, they might have bought somebody. I don't think they have. But
I haven't seen anyone come in.
No.
But I mean, what does that say to the fan base? It's not exactly screaming ambition, is it?
No.
But they've had all the parachute payments. I know you're going to go to the outgoings now, but Jamie Vardy's a lot of goals to lose, especially in the Championship. There's no doubt he's going to be a bit of a thorn loss in terms of to the team. So I have no doubt they're going to have to bring some players in. I mean,
they will. They will. I mean, they're also at the risk of having points deductions, which is what I've read. Again, it's only speculation. It could be a 9-point deduction. So that's going to start them off in not a great place. But again, they have still got quality players in that team. They had a poor season last season, and I would still expect them to be at the top end or challenging at the top.
Of course, they will.
Top of the table. But they've lost 2 goalkeepers. Daniel Iverson went to Preston. Danny Ward, as we know, went to Wrexham. Jamie Vardy, currently without a club, but has left there now. Fortuno Buonanotte went to Brighton, and Odson Edouard went to end of loan. So Buonanotte and Edouard were loans that were last season that had actually finished. So that's Leicester, and another team that at the current time of recording have got no new arrivals is Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Now, surprisingly, maybe is it surprisingly, a lot of people are fancying Middlesbrough to have a much better season under Rob Edwards. Than they did last season.
Rob Edwards.
Yeah. Michael Carrick was there for a few seasons.
He got him into the playoffs that season against.
And I think he steadied them, but I think obviously Middlesbrough have got ambitions to get back in the Premier League, like a lot of clubs, and they brought in Rob Edwards, which is an interesting one because he was sacked by Luton. Just before January, was it?
It was, because the Wickham manager came in to take the Luton
job.
or
around about Christmas time, whenever it was, and obviously, but I don't think Rob Edwards is a bad manager, to be honest. And obviously, I think he'll do well because he'll have a good set of players to work with here. There's a lot of speculation at the moment about Hayden Hackney. A lot of clubs interested, particularly Ipswich. I think very interested in him, but they've basically brought nobody in yet. So I think there's business to be done for Middlesbrough.
Also, they've made some money. I think they've made about 6 million this window from the players that they've sold as well. So again.
Josh Coburn went to Millwall for 6.4.
Yeah. That's a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah, 6.4. So interesting. They lost a few players, but as I say, I think this is one of the ones where they'll work late in the transfer window.
Could you see Middlesbrough making a playoff attempt?
Yeah, I mean, I always see Middlesbrough play decent football.
A good team.
And with the right manager, which obviously we'll find out about now with Rob Edwards, I think they're going to be a very competitive team this year.
Good fan base as well. I like Middlesbrough. It's a bit like the Sunderland thing. They always come in numbers. They're always pretty noisy.
Yeah,
and, good club Middlesbrough. But,
okay. Just a few more clubs before we finish this half of the podcast, Matt, and that's next is Millwall. They've brought in 4 players at the time of recording. Josh Coburn, Centre forward from Middlesbrough, as we just mentioned, 6.4. Max Crockholm, a goalkeeper for Burton on a free transfer. Zach Sturge, a left back, that's Chelsea under 21s, and actually George Evans, which is a goalkeeper, which actually comes from their under 21, so he's already there. So not a huge amount of business at Millwall yet, but they did very well last season, didn't they?
Apart from the $6 million transfer, that's a massive amount of money. Millwall don't usually spend that amount of money on an individual player. So again, it's not arrogance; it's just an observation. That's a good amount of money to spend. I like Millwall, I always have, and I think. They've got a good manager now as well. Remind me of his name, Scottish? Alex Neil, that's the one. He's a good manager. He was linked with Blues in the time before we got Chris Davies. Yeah. Closely linked with Blues. Yeah. He knows what he's doing. He's a good championship manager. I have no doubt that Millwall could be pushing for the playoffs this season with a good run of form.
I think they'd only just about missed out last season. They had a good push at the end of the season. So okay, so our last one then for this podcast, Matt, is Norwich City. Now they've done a lot of
money.
Now they've got one of my I think from what of the research I've done, one of the best transfers, and that's Matthias Kiftgarden, centre forward from Bromby. If you look at his stats. Big physical centre half, and that's the type of player I really like. Centre forward, yeah. 23 as well. Apparently they paid $8 million for him. Jacob Wright, centre Man City under 21s. Apparently they paid $2.7 million. Vladan Kovacevic, goalkeeper from Sporting, $2.5 million they paid. Jakov Mendik, centre-back from Ajax, $2 million. They spent some money.
They have.
Jeffrey Schlupp, left-back from Crystal Palace, that's a free. Harry Darling, good centre-back. Yeah. He linked with us as well. He was at one stage.
Swansea, wasn't he?
Yeah, free transfer. Louis Molden, goalkeeper from the Palace under-21s. And Dan Grimshaw, goalkeeper from Plymouth as well. But if you look at the reason why they spent that money, they sold Jonathan Rowe, who was at Marseille last season on loan, but now they've made it permanent, $14.5 million. And Bojan Sainz, he went to Porto for $13.3 million.
And apparently Josh Sargent is on the way out for big money as well, apparently.
Well, I mean, his transfer to Wolfsburg fell through.
That was going to be 10 plus million.
It was 20.
Was it 20 million?
20 plus, that was 21 million, something like that. But that fell through. I believe, from what I've read, that it was because he didn't want it. So, so he's still there as well. But again, Norwich had for them, a very, very poor season last season. They've changed their manager now. They now have Liam Manning, who was at Bristol City. Yeah. And I think this is one team that has always done well in the Championship and will want to be back up there again, rather than drawn into the middle of the table and start to become a run-of-the-mill
Preston
team.
And Bristol City. No disrespect, but over the years they've been that classic mid-table team, haven't they, Dad? I think if you're a Norwich supporter and you're not making the playoffs, I think you would see that as a disappointment for Norwich. They're a good Championship team. They're a solid team. And I think they run the risk of, as you say, kind of dwindling into mediocrity if they don't pull something out of the bag. And they were the classic yo-yo team, weren't they? Norwich, West Brom, Watford. They've kind of been replaced now with Burnley and Sheffield United and a few other teams. But they will want to get back into that kind of playoff and above standard. Looks like they're pulling out all the stops to get the right players in, so they should have a good season. Yeah, bold move to go for Liam Manning. He done well at Bristol City. He got them to the playoffs, so he knows about the Championship, and I think they'll have a better season, Norwich. And with the signings they're making as well, they definitely have shown some intent there, haven't they? Absolutely. So that's it for this half of the podcast. That's the first 12 teams covered, as you can see. Plenty of business already done, and and plenty more to come until the end of the season. So just remember, in the next podcast, we're going to look at the rest of the Championship, right through from Oxford United through to Wrexham alphabetically, and give you an overview of their transfer business so far. So that's it for this podcast. Hope you've enjoyed it. And if you did, as always, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't checked us out on our social media channels already, then pop along to our X page and our Instagram page. And if you like to watch or listen to your podcast on Spotify, you'll find us on there as well. And you'll see the handles appearing on the screen for all of these channels right now. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you'd like to, and there's absolutely no obligation to do so whatsoever, but if you would like to, press that big red subscribe button, and if you press the little bell icon next to that button, you'll get notified every time myself and Matt put out a new podcast. So that's it for this one. Hope you've enjoyed it, and myself and Matt will see you on the next one, all about Birmingham City.